Good evening, everybody. This is Ramona again. Hello from Nice. Still in semi-lockdown, not really flying anywhere. I hope you guys are all okay. I think everything is easing a little bit in globally, especially in the UK, in Europe, where I am. So hope that you're all social distancing, keeping safe, and of course, as we discussed before, thinking quite seriously about how you can recalibrate your lives and your businesses. It's called, re-looking at your vision, and of course, relaunching your brand. In terms of our brand, when we talked about last time, it was all about talking about your brand and looking at how you pitch your story, because we were talking about life is a pitch. And so at the end of the day, if you're looking to pitch something, it's really, really important to understand what it is that you're pitching in order to come up with the right story for your audiences. So I talked to you last time about what we term as the components of a brand. And today I'd like to just discuss those components with you briefly. In terms of the components, we really have to look at component number one, which is vision. Now, we've discussed vision with you, so I'm not going to go into that in great depth, but it's really looking at, what's the vision for the brand, where is it going, long and short term, and what are the goals we're going to put in place, whether it be for our businesses and, of course, for ourselves. The next component that we look at is our values. Now, very often, people look at me and say, Ramona, what do you mean by value? And I go, well, values are easily said. It's very easy to turn around to somebody and say, I'm honest, I'm open, I'm fair, I'm non-judgmental. The crazy thing about values is that you really got to have the behaviors that go with it. There's no point in saying that's what you are, ticking the boxes. Like if you look at a lot of websites, people will say this is what they are. They'll tell people what their values are. But when you actually go into the space and you start looking at the real culture of the business, you realize that the behaviors are nothing like the values that people say they are. So, when we're talking about values, it's the behaviors that our audiences are looking for. It's the behaviors that our employees are looking for. And it's our behaviors that our suppliers, our supply chain, our stakeholders are looking for. So, if you, for example, turn around and say to people, I'm honest, it's really important to be honest. There may be situations where you feel, oh, I'm going to upset them, I'm going to hurt their feelings. Maybe I don't particularly like the product that they're selling. The important thing is to be honest. Just tell it as it is, because that way they're going to respect you more, and the way you're behaving actually determines and tells them that yes, you are honest, you are truthful rather to your values. In terms of behaviors, very often we kind of shy away from actually certain kinds of behaviors because we think behaving isn't the answer. Please, what I would say is, please just behave the way you really believe and be honest to yourself and to your clients, your supply chain. And even when you're looking at your children, for example, when we look at kids and we say to our kids, these are the values that you're brought up with. Very often, if your children don't see you actually behaving the values that you tell them, then of course you've got a massive challenge on your hands. So when we talk about values, think about the behaviors. And when you sit down and you write your values and you say, right, these are my values. My values are honest, open, fair, and non-judgmental. I'm absolutely totally honest about most of the things that I do, whether it's about finances or whether it's about telling people the way they look, whether it's being honest about a product. When I'm coaching people, it's really important for me to be honest with them about maybe this great idea that they've got or many things that we kind of discuss. If I don't and I'm not honest, it's going to create an awful lot of problems for them. And of course, I'm not being true to my client. I say honest, I'm open. I say to people, I'm actually open. And that means my door's always open. When I say to you guys, call me if you need any help. I really mean it. I'm not just saying it because it's nice to say it or, I don't know, it makes me feel good. No, I'm actually totally open. So my door is always open and I really mean it. So if you're going to say your door is open to people, you're an employer, and you say my door is always open, just make sure that it is. And if it's not open because you've got something else to do, make sure you tell them when it will be open for them. So then again, I look at another one that I have, which is called judgmental. I'm not a judge. I can't make any judgments about people and what they do, because it's not fair. So, again, we look at being judgmental about people. At the moment, I think the world is getting really tough. People are becoming very, very judgmental about other people and what's going on, with all the protests, the riots, and everything like that. So please have an open mind. When you say you're non-judgmental, it means that you do look at all sides of the story. You make your own decision. You come up with you come up with your own situation or appraisal on somebody before making a big, before judging them about what it is that they're doing, why they're doing it, etc. So, be very careful when you're looking at your values. It really is the thing that forms your brand. It's one of the most important components of your brand, whether it be your business, or whether it's yourself. And we talk about brand promises. Well, in your values, what you're really talking about is your brand promise. And of course, if you don't behave in such a way that delivers that promise to your stakeholders, you're going to lose so much credibility. So do some serious thinking about your values, and more importantly, the fact that you're true to yourself on those values, and the behaviors that you attach onto those values are actually going to happen. Okay, so now we're going to look at something called style. And style is also extremely important. When we look at brands, you can look at Versace, you can look at Gucci, you can look at me, Ramona. I have a style. It's the way I look. And it's the way I look is how people actually see me. So, if you look at me, you'll see that I have chunky jewelry. I'm quite bold in the way that I am. But I hope that I'm also sort of slightly, chic, more classic, slightly classic in different ways. And therefore, when you're looking at your style, take a look at yourself, and take a look at your brand, and have a look at what you want to look and what you look like. Because when people look at brands, it tells them a certain story. So even look at a brand that you buy all the time. Whether it's a fashion brand, whether it's a makeup brand, a motor car, whatever brand it is that you like. Have a look at that brand and just see what style or what it looks like. The next component I want to talk to you about is your personality. Personality is all about what you really are inside. So when we talk about personality, we talk about people having an exciting personality. It could be a sophisticated personality, a sincere personality, a competent personality. And this is what we're actually coupled with our style. So in terms of what people see is our style and how we look, and our personality is actually what we show. So we are exciting people, or we are sophisticated in our own way. We are sincere in the way that we talk to people and how we discuss people's situations, etc. And of course, in terms of competency, people see us as competent people. So look at your personality and try and identify what it is that you really are, and make a note of them. The next thing I want to talk to you about is passion. Passion is something that's so very, very important. We talk about passion in terms of, having very strong feelings about doing something. And this particular component is very, very good at helping you to identify whether you're in the right job, identify what you want to do in work, or maybe what you want to do in the future. And I know with myself, I'm absolutely passionate about helping people, and I'm passionate about helping make a difference to people's lives. So very often when I'm coaching people, or when I'm walking down the street, or whatever it is I'm trying to do, it's really, really important for me to help make a difference to somebody's life. In terms of coaching, it's irrelevant to me whether they have the wherewithal or the money to go through any of my courses. For me, once I've actually help them to get where they want to achieve their vision, to achieve their goals, and to be successful and do what it is that they want to do, it makes me feel really great. So that's my passion. And I know that many years ago, when I was thinking about what was I going to do as a career, I tried many different careers like everybody else did. And it was only when I joined Times Newspapers Limited and I started training people, started coaching people, and started helping people to be really successful in the work that they did, and helping the publishers that I worked for be successful. And in turn, of course, I became successful, was when I realized I had a real passion for actually helping people get on in life, helping entrepreneurs, helping launch businesses like I did with EasyJet Airlines, and really, really sit and look at how exciting it was for those people to actually have achieved what it was that they want to achieve. So have a look at what you're passionate about, and that will actually drive you, will be your driver to the kind of work you want to do. And if you're looking at your business, what is your business passionate about? It may be passionate about, the environment. It may be passionate about helping certain charities, the homeless, whatever it is. So just think about that and look at how you can create a business or a brand that actually can help satisfy that passion that you have. Believe you me, it will go a long way to making you a very, very happy and satisfied person, because I'm happy, I'm satisfied, and I'm really enjoying my time here. So now let's look at the next the next component. The next component is looking at your core strengths. And everybody has strengths, but when we talk about core strengths, we're talking about the technical strengths that brand has. In terms of us as individuals, we're looking at our skills. So what are our technical skills that we've achieved through our careers, through university, through college, etc.? And then we also have to look at the core strengths that we have in terms of our personalities. So, what are the core strengths we have in terms of working with other individuals? So now, we could have our core strengths could be being great leaders. We could be great team players, great researchers. So have a look at that as well and couple the two together. So it's what we call person specification. So it's really all about, what skills do we have as a person that actually helps us to do the job well. So if we're team players, etc., it helps us to do certain jobs well. If we're in a laboratory, looking down a microscope, it's basically focus that actually will help us to get that job done. So just have a look at those two separate scenarios, one being the specific skills that you have, and the other one is what we call the person skills or the temperament skills that you have that will help you in the kind of work you do, or help you with your personal brand. And similarly, if you're looking at your business, have a look at those two separate issues as well. And then of course we're looking at uniqueness. You're one of a kind. In every brand is unique, and very often people will say to me, "But Ramona, what's unique about you?" And I will say to them, "I'm unique. I'm Ramona. There's only one of a kind." And with everybody on this world, there's only one of a kind. In terms of business brands, if you look at all these many fashion brands, there's only one Versace, there's only one Gucci, there's only one Tesco, there's only one Sainsbury's, because they all have what it is, their uniqueness about what it is their brand is. Their products might be kind of similar, but the way they operate as a brand, the way they deliver their brand promises, the way they communicate with their stakeholders makes them unique, because they deliver it in their way. And that's the important thing. So remember, you are unique, your brand is unique, but what you need to do is identify what it is that's unique about you, so you can communicate that in your brand story and communicate that to your stakeholders. And then we've got the final component, which is what we call limitations. And I separate them into two things. One is limitations that basically stop you from doing something, and the other one is, I just can't do it. So for example, I'm not a lawyer, so in my business there is no way that I would actually contemplate trying to do something on a legal basis. I delegate that to a lawyer. Or there's no way I can do social media. Believe you me, I know I'm videoing all this at the moment, but I'm not doing social media. I've got a fabulous person who does it for me. So it's the limitations where you delegate it to somebody else because you're just not good at it. And then, of course, you've got the other, what we call limitations, which are areas of training, areas that we can develop and grow in, which means that we can actually do our jobs or live our lives in a better situation. So for example, it's what I call capability. So you're looking at what your capability is now and what you may need to actually develop further. For example, I'm actually looking right now to also help businesses by becoming a non-executive director. I've had to look at my capability and say, what do I have now? What do I need to learn? And therefore, how can I grow my assets in order to ensure that actually I stand a good chance being a non-executive director? So it's really looking at the areas you have and saying, if I do X, I'll be able to travel to Y. If I don't do it, I won't have the capability to do it. And it's attainable. So what we're talking about is we're talking about things that limit you, but if you take a course or you do something, it increases your asset value or your brand value. In terms of the other side of limitations, it's what you really can't do, and therefore you just say, it's not a problem, I'm just going to find somebody to do it for me. So here we are. This is the components of your brand. I've had to go through it and rattle through it very, very quickly. But what we'll do is we'll put the slide attached to this video, and then you can actually have that in front of you and start working on it. When I say it's simple, it is simple, because back to that one thing that I mentioned to you in my earlier videos, and that is your intuition. This whole thing about you, your brand or your business brand, is right inside you. So all you have to do is just take a good look at the components I've been discussing and really dig deep and ask yourself the right questions so that you come up with the right answers in terms of all these different components. And of course, once we've got these components together, we can start talking about how we position our brand, and therefore how do we tell our story to the stakeholders that we're positioning our brand. But I think enough for now today, and let's go away and start thinking about this brand. And in the meanwhile, if you have any questions or you need to talk to me, you can always email me, ramona@rdg.com, or look at my website, ramonadagama.com, and get in touch with me that way. May I wish you all the best with this. Have a good time. Enjoy yourself doing it, because it's a lot of fun, and you may maybe use your friends and family to help you as well. And let's talk about brand storytelling and positioning in my next video. Take care, everybody. Stay safe, and see you soon. Bye bye.